Hi, today I'm going to be doing lesson 1.4. I can use strategies to add and subtract integers. First, we're going to recall how to simplify when there are two signs in front of an integer. For example, if there's two positive signs in front of an integer, like 1 plus positive 4, those two double signs are going to make a positive, and we're just going to rewrite it as 1 plus 4. If there's two negative signs in front of an integer, like 1 minus negative 4, those two double signs are also going to make a positive. So we can write this as 1 plus 4. All right, so that brings us to these first two letters. If they have the same signs in front, then you're going to change it to 1 positive. Or if there are two different signs in front of an integer, for example, this is a positive and a negative. If they're opposite signs, you're going to make that into one negative symbol or one subtraction sign. Same thing if it starts with a negative and then there's a positive. If they're opposite signs, you're going to change it into one negative symbol. So that's these two letters. It's same sign positive, or if there's opposite signs, you're going to change it to a negative. And we call it the spoon strategy because it spells out spoon. Okay. Last class, we learned how to add and subtract integers using the number line and the scoreboard strategy. Solve the following using the scoreboard strategy. Okay, let's start with 9 minus 11. So you're going to look at each number and say, are we adding that number or are we taking it away? Since there's no sign in front of the 9, it's technically positive. So we're adding a 9 and we're taking an 11 away. Which sign wins? Negatives. So my answer is going to be negative. By how much? You have to do 11 minus 9 and you'll get 2. So the answer is negatives win by 2. Okay, number 2. You have to ask yourself, am I adding this in or am I taking it away? This is a negative 6, so I'm taking away 6. And a positive 12 means I'm adding 12. Which sign won? Positives. So my answer is going to be a positive. By how much? I'm going to do 12 minus 6 and I get 6. So the answer is positive 6. All right. This is a negative 2, so I'm taking away 2. This is subtracting 8, so I'm taking away 8. Now treat this like a scoreboard. How many points did each team get? Negatives got 10 points, and positives didn't get any points. So which team won? Negatives. So my answer is going to be negative. By how much? By 10 points. The answer is negative 10. If there's an absolute value, you're not going to combine these double signs. You can't break through the absolute value walls in order to combine these two signs. Instead, what you have to do is find what the absolute value is first. 6 plus the absolute value of negative 5 is 5. So this is really 6 plus 5, which we know is 11. If I did a scoreboard, since both of these numbers are positive, I'm adding a 6 and I'm adding a 5, which means positives win by 11. Okay, here, this is a parentheses. So I do have to combine these double signs in front of the 5. Since it's the same sign, both of them are minus signs or negative signs, same sign, positive. So I'm going to rewrite this as negative 3 plus 5. Okay. Am I adding the 3 or am I taking away? I'm taking it away. And then I'm adding the 5. Which sign wins? Positives. By how much? By 2. So the answer is positive 2. Now here there's 2 signs as well. I'm going to take those 2 signs and I'm going to make them into 1 plus sign. So this is going to be 8 plus 1. Now I know that 8 plus 1 is 9. But if I did a scoreboard, I'd see that both of these numbers are being added. So positives win by 9. All right, next page. This page says, when given 3 or more integers to add or subtract, step 1, simplify all double signs if there are any. Step 2, add or subtract using the scoreboard strategy. So for number 7, there are no double signs, so I'm ready to use the scoreboard strategy. It looks like I'm taking away a 5, I'm adding a 12, and I'm adding an 8. Now, imagine this was a soccer game. The negative scored 5 points. The positive scored 20. Which side won? The positives. By how much? 15. The answer is positive 15. Okay, number 8. Now it doesn't look like there's any double signs. So I'm starting with taking away 80, adding 32, and adding 23. At the end of the game, negatives have 80 points and positives have 55. Which of these teams won? The negatives. So my answer is going to be negative. By how much? I have to subtract. By 25. So my answer is negatives won by 25. The answer is negative 25. Now this one requires a little bit more work. There are double signs here and here. These double signs are not the same, so that means that they turn into a negative. These double signs are not the same, so they turn into a negative. So when I rewrite this, it's going to be 15 minus 21 minus 7. All right? Now sometimes if there's no sign in front of the number, I'll put the sign there. So it looks like I'm adding 15, I'm taking 21 away, and I'm taking 7 away. So what's the final score of the game? Negatives win. By how much? 13. The answer is negatives win by 13 or negative 13. Here I need to combine these double signs as well. A negative and a negative is a positive because same sign's positive. So when I rewrite this, it's going to be negative 4 minus 7 plus 1. I'm taking the 4 away, I'm taking the 7 away, and I'm adding the 1. What's the final score of my game? 11 to 1. Who won? The negatives. So my answer must be negative. By how much? 10. My answer is negative 10. All right, here I have to combine these double signs as well. A negative and a negative is a positive. So this is 2 minus 7 plus 10. I'm going to put the 2 under the positives. I'm taking away 7, and I'm adding 10. Which team won? Positives. By how much? By how much? 5. The answer is positive 5. Sorry, a message came up on my screen telling me that I'm approaching my limit. So next I'm going to combine these two double signs. These two signs are the same, so they're going to change into a positive. These two signs are the same, so they're going to change into a positive. And when I rewrite this,